Welcome to another episode of Deep Dive Music Reactions. My name is Danny, and today we are stepping into the world of illustrated storytelling with a review of I See Darkness, a graphic novel about the legendary Man in Black himself, Johnny Cash. And recently, I ran into this graphic novel in a comic store, and was surprised that this even exists. Later, I found out that the same author wrote one about Nick Cave. The one that I actually bought for my friend for a birthday. And yeah, today we will take a look into these pages, and maybe some of you will find inspiration for a gift or for something that you could read other than traditional biographies or memoirs that we read about our musicians that we like. Um, to start, let me be upfront. This isn't a typical deep dive into Johnny's life. It's fairly short. You can read it in one afternoon or maybe two, depending how deep you want to see all the images and all the illustrations. And it's not a casual read for the casual readers. It's something in between, and that kind of left me with mixed feelings. So let's unpack this in more details. What worked, what didn't work, what I liked, and I hope by the end of the video you will have a better idea if this is something worth your time and money in the end. So the book is written and illustrated by Reichard Kleist. He's a German illustrator and writer. Chronicles key moments from so he chronicles the key moments from Cash's life, his humble beginnings in Arkansas, his struggles with addiction, his rise to fame, and ultimately his artistic revival in the 90s, thanks to his collaboration with producer Rick Rubin. And it's visually striking, I would say, with dark, moody illustrations that capture the tone of Cash's life and music. You can almost hear his voice narrating the story as you flip through the pages. And the artwork definitely conveys the gravity of his journey, but here's what here's where things kind of started to fall short for me. First of all, I mentioned that you can kind of hear Johnny's voice, but unfortunately, if you're not very familiar with his music and you see the scenes in which he's on stage and singing these lyrics, Walk a Line or Ring of Fire, whatever, um, you have hard time putting these written lyrics in a melodical sense and kind of grasping the atmosphere. It's much better and much more suggestive when you see him struggle with his drug addiction and in his fights with family, especially his wife at first. So the storytelling, while compelling in moments, often felt like it was just tapping the surface. We got glimpses into Cash's experiences, as I mentioned, his childhood, his losses, his drug addiction, infamous Folsom prison concert. But these snapshots don't fully develop into a cohesive, immersive narrative. The pacing kind of felt rushed, and characters surrounding Johnny, including June Carter, reminded mostly underdeveloped. And it's such a shame because I can see this being a series, right? So you can take any of this, his life is so rich and full of stories worth telling that, yeah, rushing through his childhood or any of the episodes that I mentioned kind of deserves maybe a full number in the series in the run, right? And I think it would definitely benefit for creating that bigger connection but I can understand this is more like an homage than I wouldn't say a graphic novel not auto but a biography of his life in a visual style. So because of this, I see Darkness feels more like a brief overview of Cash's life rather than a deep exploration. It's not a comprehensive homage for die-hard fans, nor rich enough introduction for readers new to Cash story. But yeah, let me quickly, actually, I'll show you what I have in mind. You can take a look as I go through this. So I'm not sure. I guess you can see how the artwork looks like, and it's actually not that bad. It's the version that I have is in my native language, so apologies if you cannot uh, get something of that. But yeah, here is he in the concert, um, for example, and it's very well illustrated. As you can see, it's looks looks pretty cool. I would say it's fairly. I said you can read it um, in a couple of hours or 2 afternoons if you're a slower reader and you want to kind of take a look at these pictures. But I think he looks really cool in these images, and yeah, I believe this read, which is roughly around yeah 200 pages, it's very concise, and yeah, it could be like a good gift for someone, especially like this one at the end. This looks very cool. You also have at the end, maybe I can just show you a sneak peek of one of the illustrations. You have like a whole section just with additional illustrations of Johnny, which look really cool. And let me just put this here. So definitely, yeah, it was a pleasant read. I enjoyed it, but I'm kind of sharing my thoughts because I honestly think it could have been much more. So this kind of leaves me wondering, who is this graphic novel for? I guess you can buy it as a gift, or if you're a die-hard fan, you can have it just to have it in your memorabilia collection. But if you want to learn more about Johnny Cash, I would definitely recommend something that is purely in words, so like a biography or memoirs or whatever it is. Um, I would definitely recommend that first, and maybe come back to this if you want to get someone into his world. I think it would be a very cool starting point. So, as I mentioned, it could have benefited from being more detailed as released as a series. Just imagine a volume dedicated to his childhood, for example, and the structure would allow the author to flesh out not just Johnny but also supporting characters and pivotal moments in his life. And yeah, what I did like is how even in this overall shallow story, not shallow, but like just rushing through the story, you still kind of have these side, let's say, flashy stories that are a background story to his music or the inspiration. I kind of like those couple of pages where it's a different scene that is out of the context, but when you see Johnny in the next scene singing about that, that was a nice touch. And also, I mentioned that at the end of the book, you can see him in the 90s with Rick Rubin in a cabin recording his last album, and those raw visuals during these scenes capture the vulnerability and the determination of a man who has been to hell and back, right? So it's an intriguing but incomplete portrait of Johnny Cash, I would say. It's visually compelling, but narratively fairly thin. If you're already a fan, or if you have not came across this, maybe give it a chance, see how you like it. But I would definitely recommend it as a gift to someone who might be interested into tapping into Johnny Cash. And yeah, um, please let me know in the comments, have you read this comic, or what are your favorite albums by Johnny Cash? Do you praise him as an author? And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and bye bye.